Hey guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with a special review. Guys, I will not be reviewing a movie in this video. I will surprisingly, I will be reviewing a TV show. Now, I will not be reviewing one of the newer TV shows like The Walking Dead, some of my favorites. The new season of Survivor, Survivor Caramon fans versus favorites. I will not be reviewing Transformers Prime or Legend of Korra. I will be reviewing a fairly new show, came out in 2009, Harper's Island. Now, I'm sure half of you didn't even know that Harper's Island was a show. Some of you probably even thought it was a movie. Don't worry guys, it's completely understandable. I get that you don't know what Harper's Island is. Not a lot of people have seen this show. I am one of the few that have actually seen Harper's Island, and I just felt like reviewing it. I felt like talking about Harper's Island. This is definitely one of my favorite shows of all time, for sure. Now guys, if you saw my Christmas Blu-ray haul, I got Harper's Island for this past Christmas 2012. So glad I did. I've always been a big fan of this show, even though it was a mini-series. If you guys want to check out my review and unboxing for the DVD, because this is a DVD, if you want to check out my review and unboxing for the DVD, like the DVD itself, where I show the packaging and everything, click up. I will leave, click up above, I will leave an annotation somewhere in this video where you guys can watch that if you want to see me show off the packaging and everything of the release of Harper's Island on DVD. But in this video I will be doing a spoiler-free, I will not spoil the show in this video, I promise you that. I do not want to spoil it. I want you guys to be as surprised as I was when I watched the show. Yes, I'm already recommending the show to you. That's how good Harper's Island was. I am definitely a big fan of Harper's Island ever since it came out, and even though there were only 13 episodes in the entire mini-series, I still loved it. So yeah, I'm already recommending it, and I didn't even start reviewing it yet. So I'm going to review Harper's Island like I would normally review a movie, talk about, story, setting, characters, everything that matters, the performances, of course, so it's going to be like a movie review. I'm just reviewing a TV show. So, guys, let's get right to it. I don't want to waste any time here. The first thing I'm going to be talking about is the story of Harper's Island. Now, Harper's Island, before I get into the story, I forgot to mention this. Harper's Island aired on channel CBS back in 2009, and it was a 13-episode mini-series. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see more episodes, but you really didn't need more episodes with this show, because the show ended after 13 episodes. That was it. That was the ending. If you would have added more, if you would have tried to make another show, like a sequel show, you would have ruined the entire show, because it ended perfectly. But it aired from like April to July, couple of weeks, 13 episodes like I said, and that's probably why a lot of you haven't seen it. But anyway, back to the story of Harper's Island. Of course, the setting, the show is set on the fictional island of Harper's Island. I forget where exactly Harper's Island is located in the U.S. I have to rewatch some of the episodes, but 7 years ago, before the present day when the show is set in 2009, some guy went on a killing spree in Harper's Island, killed 7 people, including the mother of our main protagonist. Now, our main protagonist is Abby Mills. Her mother was killed by this really brutal guy, this really sick guy. His name was John Wakefield. So he had this whole massacre happened on Harper's Island 7 years ago, and Abby Mills, after her mother was killed, her father was the sheriff of Harper's Island. She left the island, went to college. It happened when she was in high school. And now, 7 years later, her best friend, he is Henry Dunn. He is marrying his longtime sweetheart, Trish Wellington. Trish Wellington, like she comes from a very rich family. Henry Moore, not a poor family, just not as rich as Trish and her family. He's getting married to Trish, and they invite all of their friends, of course, whatever family they have, to Harper's Island. That is where they're going to get married. They're going to get married on Harper's Island, and Abby, of course, Henry invites Abby, his longtime best friend, and Abby, at first she really doesn't want to come back to the island because her mother was killed. Nevertheless, she goes with the rest of the wedding party to the island. They arrive at the island, and day one, as soon as they get to the island, that night, they're spending the night. Literally, I think two people are killed the night that they first arrive at Harper's Island. And from then on, one by one, each member of the wedding party gets picked off as a character dies. At least one character dies in every single episode of the series. That is something I always liked. They promoted this in the commercials for the show, saying at least one character will die in every single episode. And in one episode, 5 characters ended up dying. So that was something I always liked. But people are starting to get killed, and everyone's starting to get worried. They're wondering, is it John Wakefield? Is he back? Is he still alive? Is he the one that is doing these murders over again? Is he repeating what he did 7 years ago? Or is it a new killer? Is it a copycat even? So Abby, Henry, and the rest of the wedding party, what's left of them, have to figure out who is the one that's committing these murders before they're all picked off one by one and there's nobody left from the wedding party on Harper's Island. Now guys, that is basically the whole story behind Harper's Island. Of course, based on what I explained about the show, it is not a drama. It is a horror, thriller, mystery / suspense kind of show. And if you're into horror movies, if you're into thrillers, you will definitely be a big fan of Harper's Island. Just because it's a show, it doesn't matter. It still has that feel of like a thriller, just a very long thriller. And I always loved the story behind Harper's Island. I loved how you do not know who the killer is. The killer is not revealed until the end of the series. So the show keeps you guessing and guessing. Is it this person? Is it someone from the wedding party? That's something I always loved about the show, and you will find it enjoying and entertaining about the show as well. Now, guys, the next thing I want to get into is, of course, the cast. I'm not going to take too much time talking about the cast. Now, I have my phone here, and I'm going to go online to read some of the cast members off, guys, because there's just too many that I want to mention to, too many to remember for me. Too many cast members I have to mention. So I'm going to read them off my phone. I'm sorry about that. I know it's a little unprofessional, but here we go. Now, our main protagonist, like I said, Abby Mills. Our main protagonist is Abby Mills. She is played by Elaine Cassidy. Elaine Cassidy was excellent. I'm sure a lot of you haven't heard of her before. She was really good in the show. I loved how her character sort of damaged after, the trauma that happened to her 7 years ago when she saw her mother dead, hanging from a tree. She was killed by John Wakefield. And I really loved Abby. She was a really good, narrator for the entire show. And Elaine Cassidy, great acting. And then, of course, like I said, you have her best friend is Henry Dunn, and Henry is played by Christopher Gorham. I'm sorry about that. Now, Christopher Gorham, I loved him in this show. He was great as well, along with Elaine Cassidy. And he, after the wedding party starts to realize that people are getting murdered one by one, he becomes the leader, and he, begins to lead the wedding party out of this crisis. He tries to avoid having more members of the wedding party getting killed, and he was excellent in the show. I really loved Christopher Gorman and Elaine Cassidy. They were excellent. And then Christopher Gorman's bride-to-be, his fiance, like I said, was Trish Wellington, and she is played by Katie Cassidy. I'm sure you heard of Katie Cassidy before. I think she was in movies like A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, and When a Stranger Calls. I think she was in that movie too. I don't remember. But Katie Cassidy was really good in the movie as well. Like I said, she comes from the richer family, and she has her rich father and her sister and her brother-in-law. They're all rich. And I liked Trish in the show as well. Her and Henry, I always thought, made a great couple. And I forgot to mention this, Henry, more of the... It's not that he's poor, it's just he's not as rich as Trish. And of course, Trish's family really doesn't approve of Henry. Of course, you got that rivalry going on. The different sides of the family. Other cast members I'm going to briefly mention that played these people played members of the wedding party. You had Adam Campbell playing Cal. This English guy, I think, yeah, he had an English accent, I think. He's been in a couple movies. He was good in the show. He had his girlfriend in the show, Chloe, played by Cameron Richardson. You guys have probably seen her in a few movies. She was very good as well in the show. I liked their relationship. Who else did you have? Sorry about this, guys. I do apologize. Matt Barr played a friend of Henry. He was very good in the show. Brandon J. McLaren, he was good in the show. He played Danny. Matt Barr played Sully. They were all really good in the show. I really liked also Trish's father, the very rich Mr. Wellington, played by Richard Burgi. He was really good as well for the time that he was in the show. And yeah, I really liked the good majority of the cast. Henry's brother was really good, J.D. He was played by Dean Chekvala. They were all, the whole cast overall was really good. So, a few problems I had with the acting, just a few. Overall, I thought all the performances were good. You even got this creepy little, Trish's niece. She was really creepy in the show, Madison. Kind of annoyed me too as well. But I just thought I should mention that. So guys, what else should I get into about Harper's Island? Other things I really enjoyed about the show. Of course, I loved the soundtrack. I think it was done by David Lawrence. I thought that was really well done. I also really got into the episodes, especially, you know, as, you know, we went further into the show. I really got into the episodes as they began to get more intense, more suspenseful, and more people started to die as the show went on. Even more characters that we grow to love as we're watching the show begin to get picked off one by one, and we begin to feel emotional. There's definitely a lot of emotional scenes in the show. Another thing I really liked about it, as these characters that we begin to love throughout this very short miniseries get killed off. Definitely, there was a lot of, surprisingly for a TV show, there was a lot of blood and gore in this show. Not, you know, it wasn't very violent and gory, but there definitely was. Like, when the killer kills someone, like, say he stabs someone, they actually show him stabbing someone. They don't, like, the camera doesn't not show it. The camera will show the killer stabbing someone in the show. So that is something I always liked. I always thought Harper's Island liked to, you know, take risks and actually show these deaths. Some of the deaths were kind of gruesome in a way. That's another thing I really liked about the show. It wasn't, you know, edited so it wouldn't be that violent on TV. It felt like you were watching a movie, a very long movie. That's something I always loved about Harper's Island. I think I talked about everything I really enjoyed. I love this setting on Harper's Island, this island where you have this one wedding party, and they're getting picked off one by one. Perfect setting for a horror or a thriller, especially for TV. Guys, I think I got into everything I really enjoyed about the show. Now I will give my rating of the show. I'm going to score the show. I would give Harper's Island a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10, had a few minor problems with it, which I will get into in a few seconds, but 9 out of 10, still a perfect rating. Is it as good as shows I watch now? Probably not. Of course, I love Walking Dead more than this. I don't know if I love Transformers Prime more than this, or Avatar, or Legend of Korra. I don't even know if I love Survivor. Maybe Survivor more than Harper's Island, but Harper's Island was always one of my favorites. This was one of the shows that I actually followed until it ended, even though it was short. Again, the things I really liked about the show, there were even a few moments in the show that I really did like. Two moments that I will mention without spoiling them. One of them, one of the most emotional death scenes in anything I've watched, any movie, any show, or even anything that I've ever read. One of the most emotional death scenes happened in this show between two very strong lovers in the show. They went out perfectly, and the song that was played during their deaths as they were killed by this killer, I'm not going to say who they were, I'm not going to say who the killer is, of course. The song was Civil Twilight. Their song was called Letters from the Sky. I love that song. I downloaded it as soon as I heard it when I watched the show, and onto my iPod, and I just love that the music in that scene is so fitting, and as these characters die that loved each other and they went out perfectly, that is easily one of the most emotional death scenes I have ever seen in anything. And another thing, so definitely Harper's Island gave a very, it hit you emotionally, definitely did. And another thing I want to get into, there were a couple of intense scenes in some of the episodes that really do not completely scare the living hell out of you, that will frighten you a little bit. They will. A couple of scenes did. I will give you one example. I was watching scenes from episodes when I got this after Christmas, and I put on my headphones, and I was watching it on my portable Blu-ray player, and it was late at night, and one scene or two scenes happened in this one episode where I actually got goosebumps, and I remember getting goosebumps when I watched that episode when it first aired, and I was getting those same feelings now, years later, in 2013. So definitely, Harper's Island definitely has its moments where it'll just send that little tingle down your spine. I love those kinds of moments, and it's very hard for any horror movie or show to do, is to actually, it's very hard for any horror movie or show to send a little, give me goosebumps or send a tingle down my spine or something like that. And that's what Harper's Island did in this one scene that I really liked. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, guys, the things that I liked about the show, I already mentioned. The story was excellently written. I don't think it says who wrote the story on here. I'm not going to look for it. I don't want to waste time. But it was beautifully written. When the killer is revealed in the end, it's the biggest twist ever. You guys can either be disappointed or happy about it. I was slightly shocked. I definitely did not see it coming because the killer is not revealed to the end. And it was definitely a great payoff. The show ended beautifully, but the story was so well written. That big twist when the killer is revealed was so excellently done. Almost all the performances I really enjoyed. Maybe a few scenes in a few episodes, the acting felt a little off, but overall the main performances, Elaine Cassidy, Christopher Gorham, and Katie Cassidy, and Matt Barr, and Richard Burgi, they were all excellent in the show. I really liked the setting. There were definitely creepy and intense, thrilling scenes in the show. They were definitely present. You definitely feel those emotions. There were definitely emotional scenes as characters die, especially that one that I already mentioned. And the ending of the show was beautiful. Yeah, yes, you can argue that it may have been rushed. I still loved it. So guys, getting really quickly, I know I'm talking way too long about the show. Getting into the things I liked and did not like about Harper's Island. I will say this, the show, even though it is a miniseries, you really can't blame the show for being rushed, because it definitely does feel rushed. It's only 13 episodes, so of course there are some plot lines that are definitely rushed. You would have loved to see some more things going on with these plot lines, but of course the show does feel rushed. In a few times you do feel like it is rushed. A few of the episodes did feel like too much was going on. Like, you had so many plot lines going on in one episode, you're trying to follow everything, and then you say you watch 2 episodes later, they talk about the same plot line from 2 episodes ago. So you got to remember what happened 2 episodes ago and connect it to what's happening in the current episode, like 2 or 3 episodes later. So definitely, it felt I hope I didn't explain that wrong. I'm sorry. It felt like the show, like a little bit, there was too much going on in one episode, too many plot lines to follow in one episode. Overall, you get the overall idea of what's going on with this story. I think that was really it. I think those were my only complaints. Maybe a few problems with the acting, but overall, guys, those are my only complaints with Harper's Island. Of course, guys, of course, I recommend you pick up Harper's Island. If you've never seen it before, you see, it's tough. It's tough for me to say go buy it, because what if you guys don't like it? And I don't even know if it's on iTunes. I don't even know. But I would recommend you watch it. Whatever way you watch it, buy it. Watch it online somewhere, on an illegal website. I don't care where you watch. Just watch it. It's such a well-written show. Definitely a great thriller. I really loved it, guys. And I'm sure if I loved it, I'm sure you guys would love it too. Definitely, please watch Harper's Island, guys. I'm sorry if this review is so long, but I had a lot to talk about, and I really loved Harper's Island, and I've been watching a few episodes ever since I got it for Christmas, and I just felt like talking about it. So please check out Harper's Island. I hope you enjoyed my spoiler-free review. Excuse me. I did not spoil the show, I don't think, in any way. I'm not going to do a spoiler-filled review. I think the non-spoiler review is suffice. I think that's plenty to talk about the show. I think I'm done. Like I said, guys, check out my DVD review and unboxing for Harper's Island. I hope you enjoyed this review. And please, if you have seen Harper's Island, if you are one of the few like me that has actually seen the show, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you think it was slightly rushed, even though it was a mini-series, so you really can't blame it? Again, guys, thank you for watching, and please, highly, highly recommend you pick up Harper's Island. Just watch it in some way. Watch the whole series. Don't skip around with the episodes. Watch them in order or else you will be lost. Thank you again for watching this review of Harper's Island, guys. Really, I really enjoyed this TV show, and I just felt like talking about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm tired of saying that. Bye.